Hembo na tata Nzambi Yamanzulu kinfumu kia kuyisa. All praises to the Most High. I'm here with Dr. Luyaluka, and today in this broadcast we're gonna discuss his new book. Yes, his new book entitled "In the Beginning Was the Bukongo." Now, this is a strong title. Because we are used to hear that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Yeah. So, Dr. Luyaluka, welcome to another broadcast together. It has been a while, but we're still here. We're together. So, thank you for joining me once more.
It's a pleasure always for me to talk to not only to you, but to your audience. So I thank you so much for this opportunity you give me.
Now, Dr. Luyaluka, regarding your book, now I've read it, and I think I have to read it again. It's not a long, a thick book. It doesn't take anyone long to read. You can read it in one day. You can read this book, but it's very informative. There's a lot of things here. Especially love the schematization of the internal and temporal plane. Oh, when I saw that, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Now, let's start with the title. In the beginning was the Bukongo. It's a strong title. What was the inspiration for the title?
No, I've been, during my research, I came across the myth of Kintu. It is a myth which is told by the Baganda people in Uganda. So they speak about the beginning of civilization and even of religion. And they insist that the children of God came down, married their first ancestor, Kintu, and taught him religion. This always intrigued me to the moment I happened to make a comparison with Genesis chapter 6, where they speak about the children of God coming down and mixing the blood with the human. So you know that God blessed me with what I call the cosmological argument. So by studying these arguments along with the myth of Kintu, I came to realize that religion was taught to the Black people by the children of God, of light, that came down, mixed marriage, mixed their blood with those Black people, and in that way, our ancestors were the first person who was taught light. And they went out of Africa sharing that light with all the other peoples of the world. So in the beginning was the truth, but that truth was taught to the Black people first.
Salama Bena Zulu, Bena Kongo. In the myth of Kintu, we are told that the children of heaven descended.
Yes.
And they mingled the blood with humans.
They married Kintu, who is the first
ancestor
of the Baganda people. Yes.
Oh, Kintu was a female.
Kintu was a male.
Yes.
And when they came down, they were men and one of their sister, Nyambe.
Okay, so Nyambe was sister.
So their sister Nyambe was married by Kintu. They united in a bond of marriage. From that marriage came the descendants of the Bagandan people. It is a way to say that we black people, we came from the marriage of our original ancestor and those who came down from heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's of course we have the story in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, that talks about the Bene Elohim that descended
Yes,
from heaven and that they took
yes.
wives and gave birth
Mm-hmm.
to the Nephilim, who are
Nephilim,
the
yes,
giants and the men of renown in ancient times.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
in tradition, especially in the Jewish tradition, biblical tradition, we are told that those Nephilim were evil creatures. But is it the same event, or are you talking about a different event with the myth of Kintu?
There are three events that are confused there.
Mm-hmm.
Two events. In my next book, I will talk in full about the Anunnaki. Here, in this book, my aim was only to show the beginning of religion. Now, actually, you have what the Sumerian called the Anunnaki. And according to Sitchin, he said that Anunnaki means those who came from heaven. Full
Yes.
stop. Those who came from heaven.
Yes.
Now, thanks to the Kemetic cosmological argument, we show that there are three types of people who came from heaven. Can even say three. When God said, let there be light, he didn't violate the free will of those who were in darkness. So they were those who accepted light fully. So they remain at a higher level, working in order to resurrect or to resume their place in heaven. But there were those who refused life totally. They came down as demons. But remember, Anunnaki means those who came from heaven.
All
So
right.
those
Okay.
those demons came from heaven. That is the first. They are the first Anunnaki. And then there were those who accepted light in a mitigated way. They also descended. But now they were cohabitating with the demons, which was a confusion. The creator could not come down to settle that confusion because he could not leave the heaven. So it belonged to those who accepted light fully, that I call the children of light.
Mm-hmm.
They sent some of them who came down and mingled their blood with some of those people who accepted light in a mitigated way. They repelled the demon in darkness, and that started the first civilization. So here we have two kinds of Anunnaki: the divine Anunnaki and the demon who are the demonic Anunnaki. So you have the demon who descended, causing confusion, and you have the children of light who descended,
Mm-hmm.
stopping the confusion and bringing first civilization and religion. But between that civilization and the next civilization, according to the Sumerian, to the Egyptian, there is a gap of 3,000 years. So people bridge that gap. But if you take care of that gap, it means that we had a higher civilization, a civilization of giants. I understand the term giants not as physical giants, but spiritual giants. People who were endowed with the highest intelligence. The highest intelligence is not the mastery of matter, no, it is the mastery of spirits. And those people were giant because they had the highest intelligence, they had the highest religion, a religion which was taught to them by those who came down from heaven. So that after that civilization, because the civilization has always to take a rest, to hibernate, as I can say, to sleep. So when that civilization slept, the other group of the Anunnaki, the demonic Anunnaki, were called by certain people who are engrossed in materialism. They will not call the children of light, they will call the demons. And those demons will teach them science about the finality, the aim is always distraction. You just have to think about World War I and World War II. Those people were tapping demonic powers in order to dominate the world. And they were the giants, materially speaking. The German people were giants at that moment. But they, in their greatness, they reduced most of the brother of the West into slavery, working for them, etc. That is all we read in the Bible, that the Nephilim, the Nephilim will reducing the, the humans,
Yes.
the human into slavery. So we have to make a distinction between those two kind of Anunnaki, the divine Anunnaki and the demonic Anunnaki. And between them, there is a gap of at least 3,000 years that people bridge and confuse themselves.
Yeah, I wanted to start slow, but you went in deep already. So it's okay, we can stay there for a moment. Yeah, because people need to understand and to have a clear understanding of what you're saying. Because we have been taught, for example, for those who are coming from the church, Christianity, Judaism, that the Anunnaki or the angels who came from heaven, that the children that they produced were evil beings. But you are saying there was two events or two instances where children from heaven descended. One event was the children of light, and the other was the children of darkness, demons.
Yes.
And they also married or took wife and produced children.
They didn't take wife and produce children. Those who took wife and produced children are the divine Anunnaki. The one we are told in the myth of Kintu.
So you're saying that the Bible is wrong?
I'm saying that there is a bit of confusion, especially in the book of Enoch. The modus operandi they put is the modus operandi of the divine Anunnaki, but the remaining story is the story of the demonic Anunnaki. The demonic Anunnaki didn't marry with the human. They were called from the death to sacrifice. And in the Bible, the children, some people used to sacrifice their children, the first children, in order to kill the demons. Okay, so the modus operandi was different, but those who wrote the Bible didn't discern that there were two different things, so they kind of mixed the things.
And so there's a clear difference between the Bible and, let me say, the Congo traditions.
Yes, the African traditions clearly speak about the children of light coming down, sharing, mixing blood with the humanoid, and raising them to humanity, and becoming the first solar civilization. After the hibernation of the civilization, the materialist-minded humanoid, they did call from the death the demonic Anunnaki. And that demonic Anunnaki inspired them with science, materialistic science, and which finally led to the fruit. Because the final aim of the devil is destruction. So here there is in the book, what I'm saying is that in the book of Enoch, there is a confusion of the modus operandi. The mingling of the blood happened between the divine Anunnaki and the humanoid. Has to the demonic Anunnaki. They didn't took wives here, but they were called from the death through human sacrifice, blood sacrifice. And when they came, they inspired science, materialistic science, which finally led humanity at the verge of destruction. That is the same we are living here and now. You see, materialist science, where it is leading us. You see globalization. What is the finality of globalization? It is reducing all of us into slavery. So you see the same thing being played in front of us, but we don't realize this.
Yeah. I understand that. And so talking about the Anunnaki, Zacharias teaching in one of his book, I think, what was it? There were giants upon the earth, I think. That's the title.
Yeah.
He writes that Anunnaki brought civilization among the Sumerians. But you said that the Anunnaki that descended brought civilization to Africans. So are the Sumerians and African the same group of people?
The Sumerians were in what is called Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia at that moment belonged culturally to Africa. So that when you study the religion of the Sumer and the religion of Egypt, you have the very same religion. Besides, the Sumerians insist that those who got created were black people. They said God created black-headed. And you know, in Lingala, the head is moto, the man is moto. So it is the same word which is used for the head and the man. So when the Sumerians said that God created black heads, they mean he
black
created
man.
black men. Now, as I said that when the Creator said, "Let there be light," there is a group of people who accepted light without reserve, who absorbed all the light shared by the Creator. And you and I, we know that the color that absorbed all the light is the black color.
Yes.
So the children of light, those who came down from heaven were black.
Wait a minute, Dr. Luyaluka. Wait a minute. So the children of heaven who came down were black.
We're black people.
And
we're black.
Where did Kintu come from?
They came from heaven. But you have to accept that what they observed life brought that by the Creator without reserve. And the chromatic science, the science of colors, tells us that the only color that absorbs all the light is the black color.
Yes.
So those who came down from heaven, the divine Anunnaki, were black people. By mixing the blood with the African, they created all the who's all the black people you have in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
On the contrary, those who rejected totally the light were the demons. And we know that the color that repelled all the light is the white color.
Right.
That is why the Egyptians were telling that evil or the devil is white, while the gods are black.
Black, yes. Osiris himself was called Black, right? Because black is synonymous with God. And,
Yes.
and that's the very reason why in ancient times in Africa, the devils and demons were illustrated as white figures.
Yes.
Yeah? As white figures. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Once I told people, those who are black outside, they are white inside. And those who are white outside, they are black inside. So the demon are white outside and inside they are dark. But the children of the light, they are dark outside, but inside they are full of light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they came down to share that light with us.
Yeah. So civilization, kingship came from heaven. Religion came from heaven.
Yes, religion was a divine notion taught by the the Anunnaki, the divine Anunnaki. They came and they taught religion to our ancestor, African ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
They taught them not only religion, they taught them also solar civilization. What do I call solar civilization?
Yes.
We have two kinds of civilization. We have the solar civilization and the lunar civilization. The solar civilization is based on the fact, demonstrable fact, that reality is spiritual. While the lunar civilization, which is the civilization of the white people, is based on the assumption, the presupposition, the non-demonstrable thought that reality is material. So those are two kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the highest thinking of the between both is the solar thinking, which is based on the fact that reality is spiritual, and that is the civilization that was brought by the Anunnaki. So we black people, we must be proud that we have the highest form of intelligence where thought is revelation. And we don't have to let ourselves embark in that darkness that I call materialism, which is trying to impress upon us the belief that reality is material. No, reality is spiritual, and that is a demonstrable fact today.
Yes. Now, based on that, we can understand why the Western country try to push materialism on everyone, right?
Yes,
Yes, because
For
it's
two
based
reasons.
on an go ahead.
For many reasons. One of the deep reasons is that they know that in order to survive, they have to tape the the deepest demons. And in order for them to call those deepest demons, they have to resort to the deepest darkness, which is the reverse of what we do. In order to call the highest spiritual being, we have to purify them ourselves. Well, they have to do the reverse. They have to blemish themselves in order to call those deep demons. Now, if we do the reverse, we are working against the attempt. So that is why they are trying to embark all of us in that materialism in order for them to succeed in calling the demon and to be not impeded. But they will be impeded by the African because the African knows that their survival relies on calling upon the divine and not upon the demon. Calling on the divine. And that's what we are teaching black people to do.
Yes, powerful, powerful. So, based on what you said, Dr. Luyaluka, stating that the solar religion is African religion. When we look into the Bible, for example, in Psalm 84, it says that Yahweh Elohim is a sun. Yes, he is a sun and a shield. Now that shield is the sun rays, the rays of the sun that surround us all the way, right? So there we can also see that Yahweh is represented as a sun. And there was another verse I wanted to quote. Let me think. Sometimes when you talk, you tend to forget things. Quote of Paul, I think, that he said, oh, gee, I forgot. Anyway, the Bible, when we read the Bible, we can see clearly, as you study it carefully, you will see that the Bible itself is based on the solar thought.
Yes, yes, yes. God, the Most High, is light. But when light shines upon things, those things become shining. So the Most High, being light, his children are sons, surrounded by shields.
Yes, exactly.
So the highest process is the process of light, is the process of sun, S-U-N, of stars, is the process of shining light. And that's the solar process. The solar civilization is the first, the highest civilization.
Yeah, that's the exact reason why in African tradition, the creator is represented in the sun.
The creator is called the sun, this a star, etc. You know, in Africa, when a children was born, the first thing they will do, they will carry him and show him the sun, and that they will tell him that is where you come from, that is what you are, and that is what you must strive to manifest.
Yes, that's very powerful. Now, I've seen in several movies that they presented a child to the moon, but you're saying in our tradition, we have to present children to the sun to remind them where they came from and what they have to strive for.
Yes. Yes. It was in order to impress to that new bird that he is a sun, a star.
Yes. Okay. Now, when we go back a little bit, when we are talking about the Anunnaki coming from heaven to earth, are we referring to extraterrestrials? So I know some people will come with that question. So
that is a very good question. You know, in a materialistic civilization, the tendency of the people is to encapsulate everything in our cosmos. Even God is in our cosmos.
Yes.
I had a professor of philosophy whose name is I forgot his name. He was teaching this. He was telling people, you know, there are three heavens according to him. There are three heavens. The first is the sky that you see, and the second heaven is where the stars are. And the first heaven is beyond the star, and that's where God stands. That is stupidity. That is trying to put God in a box. No. Limited cosmological argument teaches us that you have the earth, its cosmos, and beyond that cosmos, you have the heavens. So we have 7 heavens and then the earth. But the earth includes the earth itself and its cosmos. So the universe, the true universe, has more extension than what the white people try to impress upon us. They try to reduce all this heaven in the earthly cosmos, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Which in other words, they are trying to impress upon us that all is material. Even the heavens are material. And we say, no, what you call matter is only a wrong perception of reality. And that reality is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say that the children of light of the Anunnaki, the divine Anunnaki, came from heaven, we don't mean that they came from our cosmos, from some planets. No, they came literally out of our cosmos. Because in the evolution, we go from this heaven, from this earth, to the first heaven, the second heaven, and we arrive at the eternal heaven. But let me here explain something. Our tendency is to explain those things as being one upon another, one upon another. But let people know that the earth is here, the first heaven is here, the second heaven is here, the eternal heaven is here, all is here. It is like the radio waves. If you have 2 stations of radio at the same place, they emit at the same place, their waves are at the same place. That there is no confusion because each has its length word. So is it the first heaven, the second heaven, etc. They all, each is in its own state of consciousness. So we are at different states of consciousness. And the way to reach that consciousness is by purification. So if one purifies his thoughts, as Jesus did in the transfiguration, he will see his ancestor here. So by that, through the purification, Jesus saw Moses and Elisha, who
Mm-hmm.
are 2 of his ancestors, and they are here. So when we speak about Anunnaki, we are not speaking about people who aliens coming from other planets. No, we are literally speaking about people who came from the heavens outside of our cosmos.
Outside of our cosmos, let's say from a
Yeah.
different reality dimension. How can we understand this?
The
Outside
very
of our cosmos.
the very definition of the universe has to be changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on.
We tend to call universe the earth and its cosmos. That's
Yes.
what we call universe in a materialistic way. The universe is the earth and its cosmos. And that is why we try to encapsulate everything in this material universe. No, that is not the perception of our ancestors. That is not the perception of the Egyptian. We see the universe as being made of first the earth, the cosmos of the earth, and beyond that cosmos, we have the different spiritual or heavenly plane, and we have 7 of them, and then comes the eternal heaven. So what we call the universe comprises the earth, its cosmos, the first heaven, the second heaven, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh heaven. Those 7 heavens, the cosmos of, and the earth comprise a universe. So the notion of the universe has more extension in solar thinking than in lunar thinking.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay, so the universe consists of the earth, cosmos, and everything beyond. Yeah.
Everything beyond that is the
And
7 heavens.
and as we are moving further away from the earth, in the direction of the beyond, does everything become
Yes.
less materialistic?
Less materialistic, and we go beyond our cosmos. We reach the first heaven, and beyond the first heaven, we reach the second heaven, etc., up to the time we will awake to the eternal heaven.
Okay, check. All right. Now, when we go back to the black people receiving religion from heaven, some people have some reserves using the word religion. Because when you look into the definition of religion, the etymology from religar in Latin, it means to rebind. So they will say religion binds us African, and we need to be free from religion. We need to adopt spirituality. But what's the difference there?
Yes, the problem is there is a difference between a word and a concept. The word religion wasn't known by our ancestors, but the concept of religion was known. In the myth of Mahungu, that you well know, Mahungu at the beginning was divine, and he has authority over the earth and all that is earthly. And he disobeyed. Due to that disobedience, he lost the divinity which was in him and which was symbolized as the conjunction of the male and the female. So the myth is telling us that the purpose of spirituality is to enable us to reestablish something that has been lost, to reestablish the link between us and the divine. And when you say religare, I can also say it means to relink, to put back the link that was lost. So, so you see, that concept of relinking is an African concept. Maybe the word religare we didn't know, but the concept of reestablishing a link was known by our ancestors. So I said that our ancestors did know about religion.
So there's nothing evil with religion, right?
There is nothing evil with religion as long as we understand religion to mean reestablishing the link between the humanity and the divinity.
Exactly. So in that case, you can say to rebind, right?
To rebind, to relink.
Yes, to relink. Yeah.
Why because the concept of religion in the West started a very long time, even before they came here in Africa. They had religion. So Do you mean that? Do you mean that they were really using that ready to bind themselves in slavery? I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe to bind themselves in covenants, in laws, in
Yes,
traditions,
yes, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, all the teachings of light. Yeah. So, what is the correlation with Egypt? Because if religion, yeah, let me say it like this, we know from the Kemetic teachings that Egypt is considered to be the light of the world.
Yes,
Yes. So,
yes, it was.
how can we explain the title in the beginning was the Bukongo if Egypt was actually the beginning, according to Kemetic scholars?
Bukongo is the continuation of that religion that was lived and taught by the Egyptian. So what I'm calling Bukongo is not the Congo religion as such, but the content of it. And that content was known by the Egyptian. That content came from the children of light. So nowadays that content is found in Bukongo. So I'm telling people that what you have in Bukongo is what was in the beginning. And that was also the religion that was in ancient Egypt, in Sumer, and it is the true religion that we are proving today that it is an exact science.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And a religion which is taught by the divine must be of the highest epistemic light. But what higher epistemic light can we have above deduction? Nothing. So we conclude that highest religion is what we have now in Bukongo, because it is an exact science.
Mm. Let's see. So you have a. Let me go there. So Bukongo, just to repeat what you said, Bukongo is the continuation of the teachings of light, what was found in Egypt.
Yes,
Yeah, oh,
yes, definitely,
that's something. Um,
definitely.
let me look for a
The,
video
the,
clip.
the, the Egyptian didn't call it Wukongo. They had another name for it, but the
Mm-hmm.
name we have for it today is Wukongo. But it is the same, the very same religion.
Yes, Dr. Luca, I am searching for a video clip. Just allow me to
Go on, please.
send it to the laptop. Yeah, because I want to share this with you, which confirms what you're saying. So, Egypt, the light descended in Egypt, right? And from Egypt, everyone learned the ways of the Supreme Being. Because people came, were
I will put,
educated, the Greek, the Romans, etc. And they took from that light which was found amongst the black people.
I will rather say this. In our history, the first civilization we know that inherited, I will use the word inherited, the first civilization that inherited that light that came from the Anunnaki, the divine Anunnaki, is the Egyptian, it is Egypt or Kama.
Mm-hmm.
And they shared that light with the world, and the Congo people have the duty to keep that light in order to share it again to the world. And that's what is happening. Because before the Egyptian, there were many solar civilizations that we don't know.
Yes, okay, of course.
There were
The
many solar
pre
civilizations before the Egyptian
the,
that
the
we don't
pre-post
know.
the pre-flood civilization, for example.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But we are so Egyptian is the one we know, but there are many others that we didn't know. So we call Egyptian our elder. They inherited that light from the previous solar civilization. They kept nurtured that light, and they did heed that light in order for it to reach us and to be shared with other people.
Mhm. Okay. So on the screen, Dr. Luyaluka, this is a rabbi, Harry something, I forgot his last name, but he said
Yeah.
something, yeah, very interesting, which actually confirm what we just discussed. That
Mhm.
religion, the light that illuminated the world with the knowledge of God, science, and etc., was taught to the black people in Africa. Yes, that light
Mhm.
was seen in Sumerian, in Egypt, and amongst Congo through Bukongo tradition today.
Yeah.
But look what he says about the light in Egypt. Let me press play.
Must have reached there at a certain point of their exile, as we were commanded to do. We were supposed to go to the four corners of the world. That's what the verse says we were supposed to do.
What if someone said that's just sort of the structure of holy temples, and the Israelites took it from someone else?
By the way, Israelites left with a lot of things that were done in ancient Egypt. You know, so that was the reason we went there in the first place, according to the Kabbalah. And this is where the psychedelic lecture comes in, because the reason we had to go into Egypt was to extract these things that they had of light that had fallen there. So,
Yeah, so he says the reason they went to Egypt was to extract the things of light that had
That
fallen
were there.
and this is where the psychedelic lecture comes in, because the reason we had to go into Egypt was to extract these things that they had of light that had fallen there. So,
Yeah. You see, so if that's true, that they went there to extract the things of light that had fallen in Egypt, that is to say that they are not the original people who received the light, right?
They are not. And moreover, today we are proving that that light is an exact science. But the Kabbalah is not an exact science. So we say they didn't take all the light, they take on only some glimmers of that light. The light is still there in the hands of the black people. The light is Bukongo.
Exactly. The light is Bukongo. Do you all hear that? The light is Bukongo. Yeah, so if this Jewish rabbi confesses on live television, he said they as a people, suppose, went to Egypt to extract the things of light. To extract, that's to say they chose what they wanted and they took it.
Yeah.
That is to say that Africa is the original light of the world. So
Yes, of
the
course.
title of this book is very exact. In the beginning was Bukongo, because that light, what this rabbi referred to, which was present in Egypt, is still today in the Bukongo. It's present in
Yes.
Bukongo. It's that same light.
The very same light that was in Egypt, the very same light that was brought by the divine Anunnaki.
Yeah. So it is something, eh? So when we go to the, let me look for it because I wanted to go there earlier. Oh wait, let's do this first, okay? In the book, There's a chapter, Divine and Human Practices of ATR, African Traditional Religion. You talk about the Bomitabas. I found it very interesting. So you, let me read it. The Bomitabas are a Bantu ethnic group that found in the Likuala department in the northern part of the Republic of the Congo. In the practice of African traditional religion, these Bantus erect traditional temples. So those traditional temples are very interesting in the structure. Such a temple is called Mokute Wavanga, which literally means the house of power and spirit. That is the precise description of a temple for God, right?
Yes.
Temple for divine spirits.
Yes.
The house of power and spirits, because knowledge itself is power. Knowledge of science is power, right? The knowledge of how the universe works is power.
And the Congo people will call that Nzo Ankisi.
Nzo Ankisi,
means Nzo Ankisi. Ankisi means power and spirit. So you have the same meaning.
It's the same. Nzo Ankisi. It's power and spirit. Yes.
Yes.
They also use kisi for medicine. Yeah?
Yes. Because Nkisi means power, healing power. So the highest Nkisi is God himself.
Now, some people when they hear us talking about Nkisi, they automatically think of witchcraft. So
that is wrong. We have to heal our people, because we have many of our things have been demonized. So we have to correct those things. We have to tell them Kindoki doesn't mean witchcraft. Kindoki means hidden teaching, mystery. Nkisi doesn't mean
divine knowledge.
Fetish. Yes, Nkisi means power, means spirit. And we have to correct all those little things, because they have been embedded in our culture in order to demonize it.
So the Mukote Wafanga is located in a secret or sacred forest called Ngola. So the forest is called Ngola. It's interesting because Ngola can also be Ngolo, right? Ngolu, grace.
Yeah.
So the architecture of this temple offers the attendees with a courtyard and a building that includes a lounge accessible to everyone, and a room called Musoko, accessible only to initiate. Dr. Luyaluka, you have described the structure, the layout of the temple which was found in Egypt with three spaces, right? You have also described here the layout of the Temple of Solomon.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yes, this is very same.
That the temple is amongst the Bantu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I did put it, because I did find it very interesting that it is exactly the same shape, the same plan.
Yes.
With ancient Egypt and with the Hebrew people.
Yes. So we find more and more evidence that not only were the original people the Bible speaks of as Israelites black, the Anu, which are Bantu, but we see that the whole culture the Bible presents as Hebrew culture is all found among Bantu. So we see here the temple
Bantu people
in Egypt, we see the temple of Solomon, described very well, fitting. Now, a different subject is your classification of the spiritual realm or the dimensions, or because you said we have the earth, cosmos, and everything beyond. You created, I don't know if you can see it, right?
Yes. I see the classification I made there.
Yes, the classification. Dr. Luyaluka, this classification is very good because it gives us a more understanding, right, on where we are in the cosmos, right?
Yes.
And how we progress in the greater spheres.
To go beyond the cosmos.
To go beyond, right? The Bible
cosmos.
is talking about the heavens of heavens, where the
Yes.
Most High dwells, and he and it says that he dwells in a inapproachable light. Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a great light, the sun, the greater sun, what we can reach. So you start at the top with Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo, right? And the Bikinda. Who are the Bikinda?
First of all, you have Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo, who is the highest spirit.
The highest spiritual being.
The highest spirit is Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo. And then come the children of Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo. Those who are called in the Bible the Elohims. The Elohim.
The Elohim.
Yeah, the Elohim. And what we call in Bukongo the Loa. So in the classification of the spirits, they are what we call the Bikinda. So we have first Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo, and then we have the Bikinda. The Bikinda are of two kinds. There are the Bikinda who are transcendent, and there are the Bikinda who are non-transcendent. What are the difference between these? The difference is that the transcendent Bikinda have not yet created their respective universes. But the non-transcendent are those who have their universes.
So you're talking about the Baloa?
Yes. So we are saying here that there are different parallel universes.
Yes.
And each one of that universe has a creator. And those creators are the Bikinda spirits.
Those are the Bikinda spirit.
Yes.
And you have two classifications.
The non-transcendent Bikinda spirits. So we have the Most High, the transcendent Bikinda, and the non-transcendent Bikinda.
Yes, those who have not yet created their universes.
Their universe.
Okay. So, saying that, Dr. Luyaluka, it is as if you're saying that creation is something continuous.
Of course. Creation will not stop. Why? Because God will not take away the free will from his children because the Most High is absolutely immutable. So creation will be happening, ceasing, and other happening, ceasing, and other happening, ceasing, etc. It is like you are in a house, you have some people sleeping and awakening, and other again sleeping and awakening, and so on and so on. Because what causes creation, what impels creation is that some children of God misuse their free will. By misusing their free will, they fall in darkness. And when they fall in darkness, they cannot help themselves. So there is a need of a creator to come down to help them. And that is the process of creation. And because the free will is still there will be some children of God misusing again free will, and they will need to be saved again. So that will be another creation. So we have a lot of creation. Creation will keep on happening.
It's a never-ending story.
It's never-ending story. When we read the Bible, we have the impression that there's only one creation and full stop.
Yes,
But there is not the case.
The Bible implies that there's only one creation.
Take your Bible and read in Colossians chapter 1, verse 12 to 16.
Yes, wait, let me go there. Okay, yes, first.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 12 to 16.
Yeah, let me share the screen. Okay. Verse 12.
Yes. Can you read it loud for me?
It says, giving thanks unto the Father, which had made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light.
Yes.
In verse 13.
Go on.
That delivered us from the power of darkness and had translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son.
That's what I said, that when we misuse our free will, we fall in darkness, and there is a need for someone to take us out of darkness. Go on.
Yeah, in this case, it's the Son.
Go on.
Let's see. Who had delivered us from the power of darkness and had translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created.
Stop there. Who is the firstborn?
Who is the firstborn of every creature.
Now, there are three possibilities of interpretation of who is the firstborn. It can be Jesus, it can be the Christ, or it can be the Creator. Okay? It can be Jesus, it can be the Christ, it can be the Creator. Now, if we take Hebrew chapter 12, verse 23, the expression firstborn is in plural.
Oh, wait.
Which means that it cannot be Jesus, because we have only one Jesus of Nazareth. It cannot be the Christ, because we have only one Christ. So we are speaking about the creators.
Yeah, so we're going to Hebrew.
Chapter 12, verse 23.
Yeah, because we need to compare the translations.
Scriptures, yes.
Yes. Because New King James said something else. King James says something else. Okay. Come on. Okay. Okay, so to the church of the firstborn.
In plural.
And that's the... Oh. Okay.
The church of the firstborn.
Yes, here in New Living Translation.
Yes. Don't know. Can you see the screen?
Can you see the screen? Okay. Yes, here in New Living Translation. Yes. Here in New Living Translation. Yes. Okay. In New Living Translation. Yes. Here in New Living Translation. Yes. Okay. In New Living Translation. Yes. Don't know. Can you see the screen?
Go on, read it for me.
Yes, in New Living Translation, it says, "You have come to the assembly of God's firstborn children, whose names are written in heaven."
Yes.
Yeah.
Firstborn children, that what the Genesis called the Elohim in plural.
Mm-hmm. The firstborn children. Those are the Elohim.
Firstborn, my problem is here is that firstborn is in plural. Because firstborn is in plural, in Colossians, it cannot be Jesus. It cannot be the Christ. It is the Creator. So that sentence of that citation of the Colossians is teaching us that there is a Most High God and a Creator. Those are two different beings. And the Creator is in the image of the Most High. First thing. So there is a distinction. Second thing, it is telling us that we are created in the Creator. Creation is in the Creator. Second thing. And third thing, there are many creators. Yes. Many firstborn.
Yes, plural. Yes, okay. Yeah, that's something. It's something you won't hear in church.
No.
No pastor will say that because it's blasphemy. Now, Jesus is God. Jesus is the Father. Jesus is the Holy Spirit. Jesus is the Creator. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's everything. So there's no distinction there.
Which is a mess.
It's a total mess. Yeah. So from the Bikinda, we drop into the Bakulu Bamaza and the Bakisi.
Yes. So you have the Bakulu Bamaza and the Bakisi. The difference between both is that the Bakulu Bamaza are the holy ancestor who surrounds us. And when the same holy ancestor animate us inside, they are the Bakisi.
They become the Bakisi.
That is in agreement with the double nature of the Logos, the Christ. The Christ is the fullness of God surrounding us. It is also the fullness of God inhabiting us.
So when in scripture they say that a certain individual was filled with the Spirit, how can we understand this in the light of Bukongo?
There are two ways of understanding this. You are filled with spirits, first of all, in knowledge, because every knowledge aims a spirit. The one who studies accounting, his aim is to develop the spirit of accounting. The one who studies mathematics, his aim is to develop the spirit of mathematics. It is the spirit of mathematics. It is the power of grasping mathematical realities. If you don't develop that power, whatever knowledge you have, you are not a good mathematician. Now,
so that's the spirit of wisdom.
Yeah. Now, the science of God lead you to the spirit of God, which is the power to discern spiritual realities. So to be filled with spirits, first of all, mean to be filled that the power of discerning that spiritual reality. But in a practical way, it means also to be inhabited by holy ancestors.
To be
inhabited
by
holy ancestors.
And to be inhabited by holy ancestors.
Yes.
Yes.
They inhabit you. That means they seize in you. They think in you. They inspires you.
Yes. You spoke a while ago, as we were talking, about the transmigration of the spirit and the transmigration of the
Or the
soul.
soul.
So when the
Yes.
holy ancestors inhabited you, can we consider that the transmigration of the spirit?
Of course. The
Yeah.
transmigration of the spirit. When they inhabit you,
Yes.
it means that they transmigrate the spirit from
Yes.
where they are to you, into you.
Exactly. And you manifest the
You
qualities which they
manifest the
possess.
qualities, the possibility that were in them, that
Yes.
are in them.
Mm-hmm. And you can also develop them to be even stronger, right?
Yes.
In you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing because it's in the book of Hebrew 12. It talks about this also. It says
Mhm.
that those who have gone, who have died, that they can return and work in us, so that they can
Good.
finish the work which they started together with the children who are alive. So it
Yes.
matched perfectly.
Yes. Of course.
Yes. And so from the Bakulu Bamaza, we then drop down. So we're going from the transcendent one, right? The far beyond, and we are descending to the earth. Yeah?
Yes.
So
Yes.
from the realm of Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo, the transcendent one, and the Bikinda, we drop to a lower sphere where the Bikinda live who have not yet created, right? Like you said.
No. First of all, we have Nzambi Ampungu,
Yes.
and we have the transcendent Bikinda, those who have not created.
Yes.
And then we have the Bikinda who has created.
Oh, yes, exactly. That's it. Yes.
The non-transcendent Bikinda. And
They
then
live in the
come the
realm of the Most
Bakulu.
High.
And then come the Bakulu, Bamaza, and the Bakulu and the
Bakisi.
Bakisi.
Yes. And then
The
we drop.
divine one.
Yes. We, of course, understand as we are talking about the divine one. But it's always good to.
And lower will come the human ancestors.
Yes. I get the same thing when I talk about ancestors. You're talking about demons? No.
No.
So from the Bakulu, Bamaza, we drop to the divine Kita. And divine Kita are spirits who dwell in waters, right?
No, not necessarily. That is how they are, how the notion is distorted today.
Okay.
But in fact, when you purify yourself, you draw you call the ancestor to come near you, and there is always some of them that remains with you, that never quits you. Those are called the Kita.
Oh,
So you
those that
have the
remain
divine Kita.
with you.
Yes, you have the divine Kita, and you have also the human Kita. So the human Kita are the human ancestors who abides with you, remains with you. The divine Kita are the divine ancestors who abides with you, remains with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there is a clear difference of classification between the Bakulu
Yes, of
Bamaza
course.
and the divine Nkita.
Yes.
And then we have the human Nkita and the Bisimbi.
Yes. The Bisimbi are the spirits of nature, the spirits that animate nature. Now, when we speak about the Bisimbi, what is the difference between the other spirits? Let us go back to the eternal heaven. In the heaven, we have God the Most High.
Yes.
We have the children of God, and we have the Logos of the Christ. So we have three kinds of celestial beings. Those are personal beings, which mean they are self-conscious beings. Aside from those three, we have only the heavenly nature. But the heavenly nature is made of what? The heavenly nature is made of peace, harmony, intelligence, love, truth, all those good qualities. Now let's take peace. Peace can be also a driving quality for a children of God. It can impel him. So peace is also a spirit because it is something that can drive someone. It is a spirit, but it is an impersonal spirit. The impersonal spirit is what is called Bisimbi. So we have divine Bisimbi, human Bisimbi, and demonic Bisimbi.
Yes, divine Bisimbi. Yeah. And when I hear that word Bisimbi, it's as if you're talking about something that takes holds of you, or something you take hold.
Simbi means also to protect, to guard.
To guard, yes.
Yes. Okay, but as I explained here, it is an impersonal spirit that drives you, that is with you, etc.
Okay.
If it is a divine, then it protects you also. You know, to be joyful is to pray, and it protects you.
Yes, yes. And then you write after this classification of spirits, right? You said that the power developed in divine practice is the succor of the Bankulu Bamaza and Bankisi. So when we are aiming for that divine practice, it's always connected with the higher sphere which we can reach, and that's the Bankulu Bamaza.
All in the diaspora have to know that there are three kinds of ancestors. We have demonic ancestor. When someone who was a liar, a killer dies, he doesn't become directly perfect. He keep on doing what he has been doing here. He is a demonic ancestor. When we speak about spirituality, we don't count those one. And there are human
Wait a minute,
ancestors.
Dr. Luyaluka. So what you're saying is that the demons, just to emphasize for the listeners, so the demons who are roaming the world are actually dead people.
Some of them, yes.
Some of them
all
are.
of them.
Not all of them.
Some of them are.
Thank you.
Okay, some of them are. So when someone who was inhabited by a demonic mind dies, he can be roaming here. He's a demonic ancestor. And we have also human ancestor. What is a human ancestor? It is someone who, while he was here, he was working in the human plane. And we have divine ancestor. A divine ancestor is someone who, by being here, was working in a plan of purification of his self. Now, some people ask me, how do we know that such a person is a divine ancestor? I tell them, ask yourself, if that man were here, will I go to him to pray for me? Let's take for example, Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was an activist, a black activist who was using fasting as a means of activism. Now, he's an ancestor, I will call the Gregory a human ancestor. Why? Because while he was alive here, we not go to the Gregory and tell him, pray for me because I'm sick. No, he was not dealing with spirituality. He was dealing with human activism.
Oh, okay.
So Dick Gregory is an ancestor, but a human ancestor. Let's take someone like Harry Tubman, a woman of faith, who will tell to people, we are going to cross this lake. People will tell him, but we don't know the depths of the lake. And he'll tell, follow me. He'll go the first. He got to the lake. He disappeared in the water, but he has faith that God is directing her, and he reappeared, and she crosses the lake, and the other follows her. Will I go to such a lady to pray for me? Yes, because he has a strong faith in God. So I consider Harry Tubman as a divine ancestor, while I consider the Gregory as a human ancestor.
Yeah, very.
So people in the diaspora have to know that difference. Not everyone is a holy ancestor. No, we have holy ancestor or divine ancestor. We have human ancestor. We have also demonic ancestors.
Okay. Now, there is something you wrote here that I want to address also, talking about what you just said. Just allow me to go there.
Yeah.
It's in Luke 18. In Luke 18, let me read this story. Let me share my screen, by the way, and then I will go to what you wrote. Okay? Because we know many things in the Bible is actually found in Bukongo tradition. Not because we Christianized, but because that tradition was originally of our ancestors. That's the reason.
The light was first revealed to Black people
in
Africa.
Exactly. Now, the parable on prayer. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, saying, there was in a city a judge, which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in the city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of my adversary. And he will not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard men, yet because this widow troubled me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? Now, to avenge is actually to do someone right in this context, right?
Yes.
And here he says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith? So this woman in this story, she was going to the judge unresentedly, just going and asking the judge to do her justice. Yes. And in this parable, we are told that we must present ourselves in prayer before God as we are presenting ourselves before a judge, yes, before a council, to present your case, your petition, right? Now, the beautiful on this is that you give a definition to the word samba, sambu. We have seen above that the verb samba means both to pray and to plead before a court. That's prayer. So when you're praying, you're presenting your petition, right? Your situation before a court. Exactly what we see in the book of Luke 18. That's amazing. And those who are part of the courts are also your holy ancestors, right?
Of course.
Who plead with you, who support you, who also judge. They also judge. When you come before them and say, Bankulu Bamasa, hear my plea and my petition, and they will judge.
Yeah, you're right.
It's beautiful, eh?
Yes, of course.
Bakosa biso, Dr. Luyaluka.
Tozolamuka.
Tozolamuka. Ngonga ebeti, foto lamuka. This is the day, this is the time that we need to wake up, beautiful people. We are the children of the light. We are the children that has received the promises, of the Creator. We are the children of promise. So we must walk in our identity. Dr. Luyaluka, I want to thank you for your time, especially. And I think I will have you back very soon. Very soon.
No problem. I'm there for you. I'm there for our people.
Ingeta. And because we need to go deeper, we need to also discuss the enigma of resurrection. Let people know that we don't have to wait, right, for a perfect body, that we return here and live our best life. But we are already preparing for our best life, right? By the purification.
Yes.
So when we leave this body, we will receive immediately a new body as we resurrect in the beyond and continue our progress, our growth, our development as spirits in the beyond. And as we grow, we go higher and higher. Leaving the world of materialism far and far and far behind us until we come complete, perfect.
Yes.
So when we come perfect, Dr. Luyaluka, where in this classification of spirits, where will we end when we become?
We will become back the big kingdom. We were big kingdom. We were Bikinda.
We will become Bikinda.
We have fallen, and now we will become back the Bikinda in heaven.
Okay, so we are working our way back to become once again Elohim.
Yes.
The complete, full
manifestation of light.
Of light. Kembo. Oh, beloved, it is amazing. It's amazing, you see. So, you've opened my eyes, Dr. Luyaluka.
It's
the
my pleasure.
that comes in my spirit immediately is, let me go there, because I want to share this before we part. Because, my goodness. So the first that comes into my spirit is Psalm 82. Let's have a look. Because Psalm 82, is it 82 or am I mistaken? Is it 81? Okay, it's 81. Yes.
Yeah.
Psalm 81. It says, Elohim, God, standeth in the congregation of the mighty, and he judged among the gods.
Yeah.
How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the person of the wicked? defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, and rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, Elohim, and all of you are children of the Most High, Nzambi Ampungu Tulendo, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes, right? The mighty ones. Oh, arise, O God, and judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. So this verse talks about the fall of the Elohim. But we must ask ourselves, when did the Elohim fall? There's no explanation in Christian or Christianity. They say, no, that represents the fallen angel, just them. But more correctly, it represents the fallen children of God who fell into darkness. Yes. Those who were Elohim Bikinda, like you have explained, who fell into darkness. Oh, Kembu. Amazing. You know, I grow in understanding every day we speak. Every time we speak, I grow. You know, it's the Bible's, some scriptures in the Bible become perfectly clear. And that itself is a gift because not everyone has that same spirit. Yeah, so it is a gift.
Thank you.
Matondo, Dr. Luyaluka. Matondo for your time, for being here, and doing this on my platform. I think my audience, my subscribers, are also very glad to see you again. And we will do a new video, not long from here, and we will talk about the resurrection. Ingeta. So for all of you,
there for you
who are listening, you have watched this broadcast from start to end. Thank you very much. If you're new to the platform, don't forget to subscribe and of course like and share this video. You can also go to the YouTube page of Dr. Luyaluka and subscribe over there. Yeah, so you can also follow Dr. Luyaluka on his YouTube page, and I will place a link of it in the description box. So, Dr. Luca, before we close, where can they find your newest book?
It is available at Amazon.com.
Okay.
So they have just to go at Amazon and they will find it.
Yes, very well. So, Matondo, Bana Nzambi, Bana Bilaka. I'm Nabi Kefas. Together with Dr. Luyaluka, I say until we meet again, and may Congo reign. Ingeta.
Bye-bye.